My estranged mother raised her glass at the family dinner and announced, "I am standing here as a sick, impoverished woman because my daughter is frankly a greedy parasite. My mother abandoned our family when I was 12, and I hadn't heard her voice in 18 years. Last October, she called me sobbing that she'd survived a massive heart attack and wanted her only daughter back. She claimed facing mortality made her realize her mistakes. I wept right there in my kitchen. I'm 30 now, and I'd spent decades in therapy trying to figure out why I wasn't enough for her. I truly believed she had reformed. I told my husband Zane I wanted to host a lavish family reunion banquet at the upscale Denver steakhouse I owned to celebrate her recovery. Zane warned me repeatedly this was a terrible idea. I ignored him. I dropped $14,500 of our business expansion funds to close the restaurant to the public, hire a string quartet, and fly in her alienated siblings from Boston. I curated a beautiful gallery wall of our few childhood memories. The evening of the banquet, she arrived an hour late, draped in a designer coat I bought her because she claimed she had nothing formal to wear. She squeezed my hands at the entrance, whispering she was so proud. I almost broke down in tears. For 2 hours, it was magical. She charmed the aunts she hadn't spoken to since 2006. She adored the gallery wall. She raised her glass when I gave a toast about moving forward. Then she asked to say a few words. She stood by the grand fireplace, tapping a spoon against her crystal glass. She thanked her sisters. Then her gaze locked onto me. "Tonight is about transparency," she announced, her voice echoing. My chest tightened. For 18 years, Serena has hoarded her success, completely ignoring my struggles. I gave her the culinary foundation for this restaurant, and she discarded me. I am standing here a sick, impoverished woman because my daughter is frankly a greedy parasite. Someone dropped a fork. Zane put his arm around my waist. I processed the sheer audacity for 5 seconds. Then I stepped up to the fireplace. "I'm going to stop you right there, Mom," I said, my voice eerily calm. "Most of you flew out here because I believed my mother was dying. But before she asks you for money, you should see what I found in the coat room." I signaled my floor manager, who instantly switched the dining room televisions to my iPad screen. I projected the digital scans of the documents she had left in her leather tote bag. "This is a finalized, unlisted crowdfunding campaign," I read aloud. "It details how I allegedly evicted her and left her to die. And here are her Chapter 7 bankruptcy filings, along with a drafted legal threat demanding I surrender 30% of my restaurant's equity to avoid a public defamation lawsuit." The silence was suffocating. Her older sister covered her mouth in horror. My mother's jaw unhinged. She stammered out an excuse, but I cut her off. "I spent $14,000 trying to buy a mother who doesn't exist," I said, handing her the tote bag. "Get out of my restaurant." We watched as her own sisters refused to look at her. She bolted out the front doors. We spent the rest of the night celebrating the family that mattered. 3 weeks later, on a Tuesday at 4:15 p.m., my phone buzzed with an urgent call. It was her, calling from a downtown mediation room. "Serena, the bank is foreclosing on my townhouse by Friday," she pleaded. "I just need you to co-sign a $45,000 emergency equity loan. You owe me this after humiliating me." I smiled at the ceiling. "I don't owe you a dime. I'm a greedy parasite, remember? I am your mother. You cannot let me go homeless." "You ceased being my mother 18 years ago," I replied. Full story on the channel. Link below.